Hello, welcome back to Brandon Media Strategies, Part B, Part 2 of Session 2. Let's just review stuff just so, again, we're just all on the same page, and then we'll get cooking and we'll start talking design. Session 1, Thursdays assignments are due today at midnight. Tuesdays were due, they're graded. Everything that was turned in was graded. And we're moving on. Thursday's assignments is the ticket giveaway in phase 1, which is the logo development. I'll talk about that and your chapter review. Again, I mentioned in the first lecture, be wise, or like I had somebody write me about the book, and I was like, if you watch the lecture, I hint at some things to make your life easier. So it's always about you learn more if you watch these lectures. It's just not like getting through it. And I know you're like, oh, I can watch an hour, but I give you tricks, tips, do this instead, try this instead. Maybe I change an assignment. Who knows? But make sure you're staying up to date on stuff. Make sure you watch them, try to make them entertaining, and try to make them that you learn something. All right. Then make sure you do your attendance. I'm going by this 100%. As I said before, even if I talk to you, shake your hand, and see you, unless you do this, you did not attend the class. So make sure you do that. We know where our video lectures are. And, geez, I went over hyphens and orphans, didn't I? Yeah, I think I did. Well, let's just do it really quickly. Hyphens, these things at the end of paragraphs. We're not typesetting for newspapers, so you should always set your paragraph to no hyphens, and that all that is, it's a box you click under the paragraph panel in both Illustrator and InDesign, and just click it off. You don't want hyphens. Hyphens look poor. There's no reason to have them in what we work. You will be instructed to put in hyphens when you are working on novels and 100-page books and newspapers and magazines. But generally, in the graphic design world, when you're not working on that sort of stuff, you don't use hyphens. They're not needed. We're not trying to, it's not the 42-line Bible where we're trying to get so much information packed in a certain space. We don't need the hyphens, so don't do hyphens. And I'll couch, and as when I see hyphens in finals, you'll get downgraded for them. The other one is widows and orphans. There is a back and forth of which one is called which, orphan or widow. They kind of go, some people say one thing, some people say another. But I usually term a widow, and it is the poor term. A widow is somebody who is married where their husband has passed away. They are a widow. So they are alone. That's why it's there. It's like the single word at the bottom of a paragraph just hanging out there, alone. It's called a widow. It just looks bad. It looks bad, and then it's a weird ending to a pocket of information. Here, I have 2 words. So appeal and readability of a design. If it just said readability of a and the design was alone, it just kind of looks goofy. And then the other one, the orphan, that's when you have columns of text, and there's one word starting at the top of the next column, and that's an orphan, and it's all alone as well. It doesn't have any parents, and so it's just floating there all alone. Yeah, I didn't name them. These came from back in the day, but it's the names that we use. Again, when I see these in final, and turned in, you'll get a couple points off for leaving widows and orphans. So you have to go through and hand typeset, make sure you take those out yourself. All right. So those are the lectures. Geez, I think I covered off on those earlier. Midsection project review. Use this. Show me your stuff before it's due. I'll take a look at it, tell you, hey, do this, do that, fix this, fix that. You're all good and rolling. Tuesday's assignments. We talked about branding, the branding project. It's just similar. We're going to be doing this type of project for 3 different types of kind of like media. So one is a discovery. I want a graphic design discovery. Here it's branding. Here I want you to like create something that looks like the brand almost created themselves, the little like history of the brand, why you like the brand. And like, so if you do Coke, it'd be all red and white, or, you know, like I talked about doing Vans, and I was going to do, you know, checkerboards and whatnot, but I'm doing Vans for a different project. So you know what to do on this one. And we have all the information on what to create, how to create it, and all the different formats. Every designer needs to know. I knocked one of these out on the last class. I have the regulations on that to make it a little bit harder and more interesting. I think it makes it far more interesting as a design when you're like, you can't just do everything. And yeah. There was one, and I have three colors, right? Wait. Yeah, 3 colors max, 2 type. Okay. I have them all switching around, like, and I think I was gonna even simplify it even more, but I was like, oh, the history one simplified that. You can have more fun here. All right. Thursday's assignment, chapter 2 in the book. I kind of went over this. Make sure you're, you know, everything looks nice when you type up your, even a Word document, because this reflects too moving forward. If you make any kind of contract for clients, it should look clean, clear, and neat, so they don't miss anything. So that's why you kind of start with this. Even if you're doing a Word document, you do it as nice and neat and designerly as possible, because that's what you do, and it reflects on you. The client sees like some junky, like poorly typeset contract. If I saw that, I'd be like, I'm questioning whether I should hire this person or not. Their work is great, but their contract is like, looks horrible. Like, maybe I'm having second thoughts. So everything you do should look professional and neat. And you'll hear that even if you work for a company and emails go out and correspondence goes out, or you're doing presentations, it's got to look good. It's got to look good. So, all right. Ticket giveaway phase 2. Now I'm going to start blending phase 1 and phase 2. Maybe I'll talk about phase 1 a little bit first, or it's the logo development. So in phase 1, you are given all the information about the client, and you were to do some research, figure out a creative direction, check out the competitors' logos and whatnot, and then create 3 visual concepts that include the words "Don't Burst My Summer Bubble Giveaway," plus the Bubbler logo and the Summerfest logo. And I included links so you could have vector art to use. Use vector all the time. These are copied and paste vectors. You can put them into your InDesign. You can put them everywhere. I don't want to see rasterized edges. We don't do that anymore. Everything, when it can be vector, it is vector. Just copy and paste. I show a student, they had like the vector, a rasterized logo. And I was like, why would you have a rasterized logo? I gave you the vector. Just copy and paste it from Illustrator into InDesign. And it pastes in as a vector. It saves you time going like funky, weird ways around it. So that first one, let me show you some development I did on my logos, and they're not done, but they're due today, right? So I have some time to work on them, but I'll show you my development and then some of that, what I want you to work on for the future, for next week. So first one, kind of showed you these. I worked on these last week with you. And I have my kind of like, this is my standard typeset one. And I started to play around and I got it kind of where I wanted. And I started doing these variations. So you only have to do variations for one of your logos. So you're going to take the best one that you have. You're going to kind of create it into a, what I call a quote unquote final. And then you're going to start to play around with it. And you're going to give me 10 different versions of your favorite logo that you developed. And their color changes. I have setup changes. So I'm going to go through, whoops, and I'm going to do, and this is exercising. Is that first one perfect? Is this great? No, you know what? I'm actually starting to like this one more, or maybe if I jog this one, I'm going to like this one more. So even though this is like my first attempt, it can grow and change until I'm going to get something that's even better. Here, you know, I worked on this one and I showed you that the envelope distort thing that you can do, and it works really good with doing some circles. And then I could work, you know, even if I did this, okay, I got to do color variations. I want maybe like switch it. Oh, I just had this idea. Like, what if you do this? And it's so stagnant, and like even like something like that kind of like makes it look weirder. And that's a change that makes a significant change in that. So I'd be like, oh, here's one version. Here's another version where I twist it. You know, maybe I was holding shift the first time. Maybe that's a little extreme, but maybe just do a little bit of offset and see, like, that just adds a little life to it. So it's one version, two version, you know, like, and so you just play around, move some things around. Don't get so tight and like, nope, this is my final logo. I don't know what to change. I'm only going to change the color. No, move something on it. Try something different. It's exercising your brain, and just all on one page. You just start picking your best logo. First, refine it, get it how you want, and then boom. What if I move this? What if I change this? What if I adjust this? And it's only using the items you have. You don't have to add or subtract. Here I got the bubbler logo. You know, I got to add those in and stuff like that. So play around, make those design differences. And that, like I said, one of your favorite logo, you're going to take that and then refine it to almost a final, and then try 10 different versions of that, and playing around and figuring things out. So I have 1, 2, 3, there's 4 of these are color variants. And then I'm going to start doing stacked variants. I don't know, I still like this one, but this is reminiscent of some I've done in the past. But then I went a little crazy, and I couldn't let it go. Oh, I couldn't let a design go. And so I worked on this one a lot more than I should have. I wanted this hand drawn. I thought it might be cute and fun. I can't say I love it. It took me way more nights than I thought it would of just sitting down and, like, you know, during TV time and working on it and setting it up. And you can see, like, by how many layers I have that you don't see turned on. This is like all the experimentation just to get to this point. I would love it if I could work on it more. Like in my head, there's something there, but I'm just not getting it right, and I need to experiment a lot more. But I'm not going to. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to use it as a learning experience, and leave it at that. Though it's very hard for me. Who knows? I might change my mind. But then I have to do 10 variants of this, which a bunch of them will be color and placement. And then, like, one of the things is, like, the letters are too tall and skinny. Like, I don't mind don't, but if I do all the letters that big, there's not enough room. So I'm running into this problem with the room I have. I still haven't put in giveaway on this one. There's that giveaway, which, you know, maybe could be somewhere incorporated, like here in the my, which might be pretty rad. Like if giveaway went like in here, but then it's got to match all the text, like this hand done stuff. So again, just playing around, having fun, doing it when I can, because I write the assignments. I don't always have to do them, but I try to do them. So this is that development, you know, like, so this would be logo idea number 1. Logo idea number 2 is here, this one that's highlighted. And then logo number 3 is here. So I've got my 3 distinctly different logos. And then I'm going to take one of them and give them my 10 variations. And then I'm going to use the favorite out of the 10 variations, which I might tell you, like, you may use one. I might tell you, like, swap it out with this one. I think it's better. And I'll give you some rationale as to why. But then the second part, besides the 10 variations, which oh my God, I got to do 10 variations of logo. This should take you, I'm like talking like do like 5 minutes of changes per logo. Like grab it, copy it, and then be like, I'm going to move this, 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 I'm going to add some color, boom, done. It's not like, I'm not asking you to like reinvent the wheel each time. It's just using like, okay, this was this version. Then I did the tall version, which I actually kind of like. And then I wanted this like swing down version in which I can put in, the logos, and maybe the logos fit really good. And like, maybe this is better, like maybe this is the winner when I play around and get the Y into the S. And, like, I love that kind of, I love playing around like that. So like, that's a version. Oops, sorry about that. Delete. So just playing around. And then if I like something like this, I would go and make sure my text was fun as well. Move some things around with the text, make this R touching the A and give away, like if I make that bigger. See how these are like kind of like you follow the R to the A. It's all those things I think about and I look at when I'm doing these designs, like what's working with this. The giveaway is too low. There we go. I'll move this over. That relationship right there. It's not in between. It's like, and you follow that. Look for those relationships and letters. We were talking about this one. If I move that over, but if I move that, well, let's unmove that over. This was kind of good, but what if I shift the bottom of the Y? And this is where I go, like when I start doing these, like all the time, like, oh, okay, well now I'm gonna hold and get all these nodes. And what if I shift these nodes over? So it's, oh, I had it, and I let it go. Right there. There you go. Zoom out. Not horrible, There might be something there. There might be something there with that one. And all it is, it's just taking what I had, changing it, and then I'm going to go in and I'll do color variations of this one, color variations of this one. You're exploring all the possibilities within that one logo instead of just resting on that first idea. Because you're going to end up like, now I'm like, this is way better than this. I kind of like the don't burst my, like the way it's like JD reading all over the place. So I did this, I did color variations, then I did this, then I did this, and this is now my favorite. It's the last one I've worked on. It is because I'm seeing myself do changes that like here I'm just concentrating on one part. And then I'm like, okay, now that I thought about that, I can move on and be like, what if I think about this? What do I think about that? How is it reading? Everything is here. So you keep developing that as you go. So that's what part 1. Favorite logo, refine it, 10 variations of it. And knowing that kind of throughout the next 2 weeks, you can still tweak that final logo, but then you'll be tweaking it on every piece that you put it on. So let's talk about every piece you're going to put it on. We're starting off with, that's last week. We'll be starting out with, so that's your 10 logo variations. These variations should explore different color usage, formats, sizes, application, see what you have there. Must include don't burst my summer bubble giveaway as primary element, bubbler logo as secondary element, Summerfest logos as the third element, and then additional elements to complement the bubbler aesthetic. And that, what I mean there is like, I don't know if you added a piece of fruit to your logo, that's like one of those elements. Now we're going to work on a poster and a flyer. What? It seems like a lot. It's a double-sided flyer. That seems like a lot. It is not, because now we're stepping into brand territory. Well, first thing is, die line must be incorporated in the final design. I have that die line for you to download. I want you to download this. It's an Illustrator file. I have both the poster and I have it set up with margins, all this stuff. It's all, the base is set up for you. And then I have the flyer. Where'd it go? Oh, did I click? Oh, no. Oh, I have to update that. It's going to the wrong link again. All right, I'll update that. I'll write myself a note. I have this for you. I'll update that link. And then here's the body copy. So you have body copy that you can put right in. So the poster must include the logo, body copy, a fake QR code, the promotion date, and then it's on both the poster and the flyer. So I just have that repeated. Promotion date is, if you look back, you can just write from March to May. It's in the information. So if you're a client, you're like, well, I don't know the dates. Well, read through your creative brief. It's in here. March to May is when this is happening, because you got to let the students and the young professionals know when it's happening. Now, you're going to create the poster and the flyer. I'm going to update that flyer link as soon as we're done. But what I want you to do is then come up with your poster design. And we do that simply by sketching. Here's an old one. I did it and I was like, I had the logo. This is the beach ball one. And there's my logo. And I put my body copy here. And I have some images here. And I have box art and can art there. And actually I need to include that. I'm going to include that into the assignment as well. I thought I had that in there. Let's edit this as we go. Because you have can art, and if we just design a boring old poster with no images, people just be like, oh yeah, this is boring. So let's update this. Logo, body, QR, promotion date, comma, at least one package and at least one can and at least one photo. So at least one package, comma, space, at least one can, and at least one photo. So there we go. So I'm going to copy from here. And then I go to date there, and I paste it. So what do I mean by one photo? Well, we'll talk about every part. Let's hit save that. That is now when you refresh in Blackboard, all that information will be there. And when you say, well, what do you mean by the package and the cans? That's included in the downloads. Link has guides and product shots. That's that one. So it's all there for you. You just have to get it and put clipping masks on them. And you can use the can. And I want the box art. And you should use the same flavor. If you use a box here, use the same flavor can, and kind of to match it up. And then you're like, well, what about these photos? Well, give people, go to the Bubbler website and grab some of their images. They got all these like images everywhere of people using, and here's a bunch. People advertising this. This is the college kids, whatever. find some images. You search everywhere for that. Now, you sketch it up, and I'm like, okay, so this is the beach theme. So this is water, this is sand, there's boxes and cans in the sand, there's like a little volleyball net. I've got some pictures here floating around, and I got my logo up there. All right. So this is where branding comes in. I have all my elements. I have a logo. I have my body copy. I have my theme, which is beach. I have the water, the sand, and then I have my images. Once you create the poster, everything is based on that poster design. You don't change colors. You don't change the logo. You don't change anything. All the pieces will use the same pieces, the same design elements for all the rest going down, because we want everything to match. What do I mean by that? Here we go. This is my poster. I've got the Bubbler logo up here, right? I've got some images. My text is supposed to be here. All right, pretend the text is there. And then I have some cans in the water, just, this is my down and dirty. So I did my poster, and it's going to include all the parts and pieces that I need. Now, when I did my flyer, all I did was copy and paste. I didn't remake a single thing. I just copied and pasted into the next document. And I could create my flyer. This is bad. You know what? This isn't updating because the back of the flyer is supposed to look different. But as you can see, I have the logo, I have the text, I have this thing here, like everything. This flyer, it's double-sided, side 1, side 2, looks exactly like the poster. I didn't change colors. I didn't change the logo. I didn't add in something new. I didn't put a pattern on this one, but there's no pattern on this one. So once you establish the poster, only those parts will be used everywhere else. So it becomes fairly easy. So the hardest part is developing a very unique and interesting poster, and then knowing from there, okay, everything flows from there. I got this piece, goes to this piece, goes to this piece. And you can copy and paste across platforms. If you're in the future, I'm going to have you be some parts will be in InDesign, some parts will be in Illustrator. But you just copy and paste all those. Don't remake a single thing. Just copy and paste it. I did it in the poster, copy and paste it, and then remove things around properly for the flyer. I have another example of that. What's this one? That was that. Did that. All right, here's a Bubbler poster I did. All right. March 1st and May 31st. Here's my logo. It's got Bubbler and Dope Burst, my summer bubble giveaway. It's got the text in there. I've got a pattern background. I've got these images of people having fun using Bubbler. I got the box art and cans and everything. It's all in there. I had a lot of fun with this one. This was way better than that beach crap one I did. And then I needed to do the flyer. Wait, okay. Oh, no, sorry. I'm going to go backwards. Sorry. I'll show you. Where's the flyer? Oh, I have it somewhere. I'll just show you this. Logo variations again. Sorry, I'm jumping around. This is what I started with. Then I did one that looked like a ticket. Then I did one with different colors. Then I did another one with different colors. Then I did one that was angled and had rounded edges. Then I did one where I stack things differently. These are the logo variations. So here's just a quick 6 different logo variations based off of this one. And again, I'm just doing it, moving stuff around. I went with this. So here's the poster. Oh, and here's the flyer. So poster, I copied everything. I use paste to remember layers, and then I pasted it into the flyer so everything would go where it needed to go, and I just moved things around. I didn't change, add, or do anything differently. And just so you know, like the images are supposed to be here. They didn't populate. But I have the images from the poster are actually here and here. There's like one there. I don't know if you can see those showing up when I click, but it's just because I did these so long ago that I didn't keep all the images around, and I'm trying to save in different ways, whatever. But when you look, nothing changed. I didn't add any new colors. I didn't add a new font. I didn't add any new images. It's all the same. So when somebody sees this poster, and then they see this poster hanging up in the cafeteria of the college, and then they go out on the town and they go to Water Street, and then they see this flyer in a bar on Water Street or something like that, or in a restaurant, and they just see the flyer, they're going to immediately notice like, oh, I recognize this. I've seen it somewhere else because it looks exactly the same. And that's brand consistency. So you are creating a promotion, and that promotion is consistent through every piece that you create. I didn't change, this logo isn't different. I didn't change the colors. I didn't do anything. I created this poster, was happy with it, and said, now I can move on to the flyer. And then once the flyer's done, we're going to do even more pieces. But once that's done, you just kind of like, I'm just taking the same elements and rearranging. And you're like, wow, he's really kind of hitting hard on this. Don't add anything new. I see it happen every time. Somebody will show me the poster, and then all of a sudden the flyer is like, I don't know if I can change that. Oh, like they show me the flyer, and it's like the background is like, for some reason, like red, and I'll be like, wait, what? When I go from the poster to the flyer, why is the background on the flyer red all of a sudden? Like this looks like a whole different project. Like it should look exactly the same. And yes, it's that simple. I don't want to see the changes. Like if you do a background, that background is now the background for every piece that you create. If you create a somewhat of like a style guide with these, I made these little circles and squigglies and squares, that is on the background of every piece. So keep that in mind when you're developing that and you're working on it. That's what I'm looking for. So the two things, figure out the best. I want to see those 3 logos at the end of the day today. I'll check them tomorrow morning. I'll go over it, tell you if I like one over the other, which one you should go with, if I have suggestions. You'll refine the logo. Then you'll create 10 variations. You'll create a poster. And then from that poster, you'll create the flyer. So it goes from hardest to easiest. Because the hard, like once you get your logo, you get it refined. And that may take some time, but then you do the variations. That should be very quick. Then you spend time on the poster, but you have all the assets. You have all the logos. You have your logo. You have the Bubbler logo. You have the Summerfest logo. You just put in a QR code, find one from the internet. You have the body copies ready for you. All the art, all the photography is available to you for just copying, pasting in. And then once your poster is done, all you're doing with that flyer is moving things around. So it becomes easier and easier. And as we go throughout the rest of this, it becomes even easier because you're just using the same assets. So I feel like I have one more I could show you. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, yeah, and that's later on. I never got far with that one. All right, I think that's enough. All right, so any questions, comments, or concerns with the project for phase 2? All righty. Well, I look forward to seeing your logo developments tonight or tomorrow morning, and then moving on and seeing some posters and flyers for next week, Thursday. All right. Well, with that said, if there's no questions, I'll let you guys go, and I will talk to you on the discussion boards in the next week, Tuesday. All right. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.